this is a draft show, right?
Okay.
We talked a lot of prospects, but there's
Let's
another thing
yeah.
we like.
Yeah.
Good old fashioned wrestling. Good old fashioned wrestling. We love wrestling, and we're going to draft our own. We're gonna have a top 5 draft. We're gonna do 5 picks each, and we're gonna try to pick the best roster. And this rosters consist of, guys. What do you want to do from the last? You want to do all time,
Let's
or
just
you
say
want to
from when. Let's just say from when. I don't want to talk
our
about
era?
players. I don't want to talk about wrestlers that I have to go back and watch film on.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to get into the catacombs of wrestling history. Like let's just talk our era.
We'll talk
Let's
the
talk our
Attitude Era on. We'll do that.
and yeah, because
And
I'm still paying attention to some wrestling, man.
I don't get to watch as much as I do, but there's still a couple guys. I'm like, okay, they still got it and all that. So you are the guest. I will give you the number 1 pick. So you are on the clock, sir.
So I'm not gonna go with, may not be the right answer, but it's definitely not a wrong answer. I gotta go, and this is a wrestler that I have grown to respect more over time, because he's got a lot of flair. He's got a lot of myth around him. He's got an aura about him, but he's not a promo king. He's not like a real demonstrative, like he's an intimidating guy, but he's not like a hey everybody look at me guy.
I'm trying to think.
Legend in the game for a long time. A long time. Recently stepped away. Going with the Phenom.
The dead man. Okay.
Going with the dead man. I'm going with the Undertaker.
That's a good piece to build around. Okay.
He's a locker room guy. He's going to hold all my other guys accountable. He is going to ride or die for my company, despite differences of opinion, despite comings and goings of other organizations around me, despite like mass exoduses, despite fan disappointment, like despite any of that, he's going to ride or die for me. He doesn't even have to have the title to have the respect. And that's
Tim Duncan. He's your Tim Duncan. Okay.
He's my Tim Duncan. There we go. Yeah, he's my Tim Duncan of my squad. I gotta go Undertaker, man. Gotta do it.
That's a good one, because that's a good teammate. Ride or die. Very ride or die. Could have. We could have left for WCW. Definitely could have left. Definitely a good locker room piece. No, that's a good one. Okay. So the dead man, the number 1 pick. All right. There's a lot of ways I can go.
Dude,
a lot of ways I can go.
Unlimited potential here.
You know what? Oh, man, because I know you're probably going to take him with the next pick. So, but I can only pick one. Okay, I'm going to pick one guy. I'm going box office.
Oh, okay.
I'm thinking tickets. I'm thinking merch. I'm thinking just loudness at the arena. It's going to be a great old time. And when this,
you need the pop. Yeah,
I need the pop. And when instant, once you hear the, I'm going with Stone Cold Steve Austin. I'm going with Stone Cold.
You said box office. I thought you were going another way, but I see what you're doing here.
I was thinking the other man, but I'm thinking this man is box office. He is the draw of all draws. There with Hogan and all that. And I'm thinking glitz and glamour, and I'm thinking, revenue. I'm thinking let's find our LeBron James. We need it. Let's start off with the franchise. We're going with Stone Cold Steve Austin.
I can respect it, man. Love Stone Cold. He has recently started getting back into the ring,
did you watch WrestleMania? Did you get to watch WrestleMania?
I watched Kevin Owens and him go at it.
That was a solid match for an old guy that hasn't wrestled in 20 years.
He's lifting weights again already.
I think he's coming back for another match. I don't know with who. I haven't even like rumors of who, but I feel
I don't know who's available, who's not like majorly involved in a storyline that he can go to, because like Seth Rollins is tied up.
That's tough. I don't know who. I don't really know who he could do with, but I know he's gonna do it. I'm pretty sure he's gonna do one more because I think he got. You know how wrestlers are. Once they get that itch, when they haven't done it for a while, they get back. So I think
once they get that pop again,
yeah,
and he's been around the company, even when he stepped away, he's been around. Like I love Broken Skull Sessions. I watch every new episode because I love like peeling the curtain back and like hearing the story and the come up and like what's going on now. Like I love his podcast. So I don't know.
I think he comes back. All right, so you're on the clock. You got the number one pick was your number one pick was the dead man. I picked Stone Cold. So who is joining the Undertaker?
So I think we both did a really good job of going after a guy that is going to be around like no matter what, like barring injury. Like both of these guys.
See, my guy has a little bit of an injury history, so that's the thing I have to worry about. I do have to worry. So I have to, my roster construction is going to have to be a little different.
So I got my stability, and I got my guy who has all the respect in the world from anybody that's ever laced him up. You went after box office. I'm going after box office.
I think I know where you're going.
If you smell what I'm cooking.
Okay,
if you smell what I'm cooking. This guy, kind of dare I call him a Michael Jordan, where he's, came in, conquered the world, left, came back, still did his thing. And even though he's older, he still thinks that he can still whoop everybody, like I gotta go with Dwayne Johnson. I gotta go with The Rock, man. Like the most electrifying man in sports entertainment, multi-time WWF, WWE, like he has faced everyone. And let's face it, man, if me and you are on teams and our teams are gotta face up, like you can't have The Rock and Stone Cold on a team together.
No, you can't.
Like when Undertaker and whoever else is in the ring with Undertaker that I'm sure you're going to be drafting next, like make a tag, and The Rock and Stone Cold are lined up against each other. They're going to take a moment to let the crowd just like lose their minds over it. And they're going to look around and they're going to take time. Like wrestlers love talking about like, don't go too fast because fans love moments. Like there's going to be that moment between our teams, Chris, where
we're going to have
The Rock and Stone Cold are going to have the face off and everyone's going to lose their minds.
That's a good
Maybe
one.
That's WrestleMania. Maybe The Rock and Stone Cold both come back and face off.
I think The Rock's coming back, but I think he's coming for
Roman?
For the tribal chief. I think he's coming for the tribal chief.
He's coming to kill the bloodline. Okay.
To battle. They're going to have the battle of who's the head of the table, who's the guy. So you just picked The Rock, and that's a hell of a pick. And that was literally, if I didn't pick Stone Cold, that was going to be my pick. But sorry, you got Taker, you got The Rock, you got Stone Cold. Oh, this is tough. I'm going to go. Okay. My guys are telling me in the war room that we have to think about this. We're going to take it down to the clock. I think, guys, I'm going to go with this. Might not be popular. We're going to go. I'm going to go with John Cena.
Okay.
I'm going to go with John Cena.
Well, that's good because now we got The Rock and Stone Cold facing each other. We got to have Cena.
We got to have Cena because they did wrestle each other at WrestleMania, but that wasn't, to me, that wasn't really a match. That was like a
gotta have the battle of the movie stars,
Yeah. And another guy who's box office, and can go if Stone Cold is with Taker, I could put John Cena with Rock because we've seen that before, and John Cena can go toe to toe with The Rock on the mic, and his wrestling is very underrated too. So I'm gonna go with Mr. You Can't See Me, John Cena.
I respect that, man, because we both have our mainstays, our guys that are going to ride or die. And now we both have our guys that when they're there, you love them. You say, hey, thanks for being here. Come and go as you wish because you do right by us when you're here. When you're gone, you still do right by us. You still respect the industry. You're not, even though you're box office, you're not too big to come back home.
Exactly.
So I love that. All right. So we got our stability guys. We got our box office guys. We need wrestlers. We need.
I already hate that you said that. You're gonna take my guy.
We need wrestlers. We need tacticians. We still need guys that are good on the mic, man, because if we're only limiting ourselves to 5, like we gotta have guys that can do it all, like a Swiss Army knife. And we got some heavyweights in here. We got some really big dudes. But I gotta go with a guy that, although he's not the biggest wrestler ever, he's one of the most respected. He's still doing incredible things to help promote wrestling. I gotta go with the Heartbreak Kid. I gotta go HBK. Now, he has had beef with all of these dudes that we've already drafted so far, and he has gone toe-to-toe with all of them. And I'm going with respect, I'm going with pop, and I'm going with just good wrestling here. I gotta go HBK.
Okay, that's a great pick.
Mr. WrestleMania.
He is Mr. WrestleMania. And you know how you said he had beef with a lot of the guys, in this? The guy I'm picking, he had the most beef with. I'm going to pick the best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be. Bret the Hitman Hart, my favorite wrestler of all time. Bret Hart.
Okay.
So we already have a ton of storylines already with the 6 guys that are. We have a lot of very good creative television that's going to be must see, and just with these 2 guys alone in their prime going at it, it's a lot of fun. Bret Hart, to me, the best technical wrestler that has ever laced up a pair of boots. Maybe not the most charismatic, but somehow was still charismatic just by his entrance. I always wanted those glasses. I used to be so jealous when he would get in the ring, do his thing, and then come out, take the glass, and pick a kid. I was like, oh man, one day I want to be one. And I remember one day I was in the front row and didn't get him. So
there's a lot of kids in the front row, man.
I'm a big kid now, and I still want that moment of Bret Hart. If I ever meet Bret Hart, I want him to just be like, here's the glasses. I need you to put them on me as if I'm a 6-year-old kid. So Bret Hart is my guy. Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels. We tons of feuds we'll have with this.
Oh man. All right. I don't want to be an old head. I don't want to just sit here and talk about like wrestlers during the most influential time of my development. I want to, I still keep up with the game, man. And there's some wrestlers that are they're the whole show. They're the whole effing show right now in wrestling. And if you can be the guy every time you step into a ring, whether you have a title or not, you can bring respect to the United States Championship in a way that a lot of people have lost it. Like probably one of the best US champions since John Cena made it cool. I got to go with someone who is associated with the man. I got to go Seth freaking Rollins, a guy who can wrestle small guys, a guy who can wrestle big guys, a guy who can get guys over, and a guy who can put on the show. One of the most unpredictable wrestlers we have ever seen. A guy who, when you think he's out, he's got you right where he wants you. And I think he could bring a lot of fun to a lot of these older generational guys. Like I'm imagining, Chris, that we're in like a WWE 2K, whatever. I don't play the games anymore, but like where you can bring in like young versions of everybody, like in their prime. Like imagine Seth Rollins against Bret Hart. Imagine Seth Rollins against, Stone Cold. Imagine Seth Rollins against any of my guys. Like I got to go with him. So I got Undertaker, I've got The Rock, and I've got Seth freaking Rollins.
That's good. That's a good 4.
And Shawn Michaels.
And that's a really good 4. That's a really good 4. All right. With my 4th pick, I just put, Stone Cold 1, Cena 2, Bret 3. I'm going with the guy with the greatest finisher of all time.
Okay.
Mr. Out of Nowhere, Randy Orton, Mr. RKO, Randy Orton with my fourth pick. I think he has the greatest finisher of all time simply because you can hit it anywhere from the top rope or someone going from the top rope. You could do it on the ropes. You could do it on the ring post. You could do it anywhere because that's why I love it. It comes from anywhere. It's unexpected. Greatest move. And his growth as a wrestler, as a talker, he seems like he gets better with age. Randy is my pick and we can have some banger matches with every single guy. And he's had banger match except for The Rock. He wrestled The Rock at WrestleMania 20, but that was a 3-on-2, so you didn't really get to see 1-on-1. But he's had bangers with Shawn Michaels. He's had bangers with Seth Rollins at WrestleMania, and he's had bangers with Taker at WrestleMania too. So there's an endless amount of matches that we could see, and some good promos too, especially Legend Killer Randy Orton. I mean, 3 legends right there. We can have a lot of good fun, a lot of fun with promos there. So Randy with my fourth pick. So Stephen, you've taken The Undertaker. You've taken the Great One. You've taken Mr. WrestleMania. You've taken Seth freaking Rollins. Who's the last pick?
Ladies and gentlemen.
Okay.
My next pick has beaten The Undertaker at WrestleMania. He had destroyed The Rock and Stone Cold when he came through.
Yep.
He has beaten everybody that he has lined up against. He comes with somebody else that is very entertaining in Paul Heyman.
So you're taking the okay, so I like it. You took kind of like the package. Okay. Well,
I'm taking the package. I'm taking someone who I never really respected until very recently when he started coming in as Cowboy.
Cowboy Brock is so entertaining. Brock is so entertaining.
Brock Lesnar.
Okay.
So I feel like I'm cheating because he's so powerful and so good. But my starting 5 and you could pick a manager too, because I think Paul Heyman is just fantastic. My starting 5 is Undertaker, The Rock, Shawn Michaels, Seth freaking Rollins, and Brock Lesnar.
Okay, that's a good 5. That's a good 5. So I'm going to borrow your manager because he kind of goes with my guy. I'm going to go with the head of the table.
Okay.
The tribal chief.
Okay.
The one. Throw your ones up, guys, if you're listening. Roman Reigns. Gonna borrow Heyman. Gonna use the tribal chief. Gonna go with Roman Reigns. We can have bangers with every single. Roman versus The Rock.
Yes.
Right there. That's if we do a collective WrestleMania with our 10 guys. That's the main event. Main event. That's the most box office, if that's even a word, of main events we can do. And even Roman versus Taker, in prime, that would be a banger. Seth Rollins and them have had bangers. Obviously, him and Brock have wrestled countless times, and him and HBK would be fun too, because HBK can work with bigger guys and know how to move them. So we got a nice little. Okay, I like our 5. I think we could do good. So to cap it off, Steven took Taker, Rock, HBK, Seth freaking Rollins, and Brock Lesnar. I took Stone Cold, John Cena, Bret Hart, Randy Orton, and the one Roman Reigns. So that caps off our wrestling